Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 5. You may first, before anything else, notice the uh, webcam quality and the fact that it's a square box and everything. I got my new webcam, the one I ordered thanks to donations and stuff, and you could tell visually it's much higher quality. It captures the visuals a lot better. It looks a lot better. It's a little laggy. It almost looks like it's not perfectly smooth in the movement, but it looks good. Issues with it though is that for some reason it's not capturing audio. And apparently, I looked at the reviews, and a couple other people had issue with this too. I think it's the computer; like certain computers won't recognize audio for it. Um, and also, I can't change the zoom or anything, so I have to have my computer way back, which means I have to use my mouse in order to be able to reach. Because I'm not going to just like lean in to reach and adjust everything all the time. Um, Also, I cannot change the shape of the box that the webcam is shown in. I cannot change this from this like square box basically, which means I can't like fit it to the screen like I had before. You know, where it was like fitted to where it's like everything behind it was basically just a border surrounding the webcam. I can't do that with this one. So I'm probably going to have to readjust or redo the redirect screen background if I'm going to keep using this camera, which I plan to. Um, I mean, for obvious reasons, I got it for this purpose. um, the audio, I have to use my computer's audio capture. So hopefully that sounds good. I did a test before this and it sounded fine to me. But then again, it was also a lot closer when I did the test. So hopefully this sounds good. Hopefully you can hear me just fine. Um, and everything with the capture should be fine still. With capturing the episodes and stuff, that should all still be good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to change this background a little to make it look better, for lack of a better term. Make it look better, make it work better for the general just feel of the redirects. Because this doesn't look great. It honestly, um, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But today, yeah, we are doing My Hero Season 4, Episode 5. Um, last time we did episodes 3 and 4 together because we were late on episode 3 and episode 4 had come out. So we got to meet more of Overhaul. We got to meet his daughter, apparently. Though, again, I don't know if that's like his real daughter or if it's more like that's the cover. But Deku's working with Night Eye and everything, and things are going as well as they can. However, Shigaraki, in the meanwhile, is meeting with Overhaul as well because they had been talking about possibly working together one way or the other, and they had the entire big fight in episode 2, and now Shigaraki's apparently ready to strike up a deal. I don't know what that deal is going to be, but it interests me for obvious reasons. I want to see what this amounts to. I want to see if Shigaraki will agree to work under Overhaul, which I don't think he will do. Because if you remember at the end of episode 2, he was pissed at what happened to Big Sis Mag. He was pissed at the entire situation, and he said Overhaul would pay. And then all of a sudden, like, what, a couple episodes later, he's all of a sudden like, oh, I'm going to meet with you, and I'm going to agree to come to some kind of compromise. It doesn't seem like Shigaraki to me. I think that he's doing this to get close to Overhaul. He wants to learn about Overhaul and the Chie Hasakai, I think it was called, the Yakuza group, and just be able to plan out an attack on them. it definitely seems like they're going to be feuding during this season rather than having any kind of major fights with our heroes. Um, though obviously Deku's going to somehow get involved, at least Deku, because as we see in the opening, he does have some confrontation with Overhaul, and I don't think it's going to be as simple as what we got last episode. Now, I don't know anything else going into this episode except I know Kirishima is in it. Because I have seen a single screenshot from this episode and it just showed Kirishima. I don't know what the extent of his role in this episode is going to be. But he was one of the ones who did have an offer for his work, or not work study, right? Whatever. Um, is it the work study? Actually, I think it is. Yeah. Either he had an offer alongside Tokiyami and Sue and Ochiko. And so maybe it's going to cover that. But if that's the case, I would think it'd probably cover all of theirs because I don't think we get a full episode just dedicated to one of them. Though, to be fair, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, we had the episode dedicated to Sue's little. What was the other one called? Before the work studies. When Sue was working with Selkie and the Sirius, that's her name. Selkie and Sirius on the boats and everything. Pretty much the entire episode was dedicated to her entire little thing there. While Deku was off with Gran Torino and everything. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. Internship, that's it, internship. Yeah, there was an entire episode pretty much dedicated to Sue's internship. So I guess there could be one dedicated to Kirishima's work study, but I don't know. I just feel like they would at least show a little bit of the others too. Because I think the Sue episode did show a little bit of the others at the beginning. I don't know. We'll see. One way or the other. That's the best guess I have. I don't know anything else going into this, and I don't know anything for sure. It's just a guess based on just seeing a single screenshot of Kirishima. That could mean nothing, though. That could mean nothing. um, I really wish I wouldn't have seen it, but can't avoid everything every time. At least there wasn't any possible big plot spoiler. But yeah. One thing though, before we begin, on top of all the comments and stuff you leave regarding the episode, please tell me what you think of this camera, of the visual quality, what you think of the audio quality coming from just the mic on my computer. Tell me what you think of all of that down in the comments below as well. Because while the camera wasn't as expensive as it could have been, it's like I still want to make sure that I didn't waste the money on something that's not going to work out. I think it looks good. I think visually it's honestly like a massive step up from the other camera, the one we've been using. But the fact that it is set in this square box, the fact that it doesn't for some reason work with the audio, the fact that it's not as adjustable as pretty much anything else. I can't change the zoom or anything. It is something I want to take into account with everything. So let me know what you guys think. Again, if I just have to change the border on these redirects and everything, I can do that. That's not an issue. So if that's the only big problem we end up having, then honestly, I think we're going to be in good shape. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Even if I have to turn up the mic capture a little bit, that's easy to do, just because now the computer's further back. I notice also, as I'm moving my hand, it captures the shadows more. Is that just me, or do you guys notice that too? Also, the camera's supposed to be able to adjust itself automatically for darker lighting. So if it like got darker in here, it would adjust itself like with it has these little night vision things on it. So it's like it should auto adjust itself. Hopefully, I might have to like manually do it, but it should auto adjust itself. We'll see. We'll see. Either way, I don't know why I'm repeating myself like that. Either way, um, we should just get on with the episode and hope to enjoy. So, that being said, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so another good episode. And my hopes were proven right. So this was definitely a Kirishima focused episode and focusing on his work study, which we find out is with Fat Gum, interestingly enough, because their quirks are kind of polar opposites. Um, Kirishima hardens his body so that like nothing can pierce it or anything, while Fat Gum pulls things in. It's like polar opposites, but I maybe that's why Fat Gum chose him. With Nejire, obviously, or not Nejire. Nejire's the girl. I cannot remember the dude's name. I'm just gonna call him Sun Eater. With Sun Eater's recommendation and all. Maybe it's because of that, them being kind of opposites, that Fat Gum was intrigued by seeing how they'd work together. It doesn't seem like Fat Gum can be cut either, though, or anything, because he pulled the guy into him, and the guy was still using his blades and all, and was like bouncing all over Fat Gum, but it wasn't piercing. So that's interesting. But my hopes were realized because we did get to see some of the others and what they were doing. Specifically, we got to see Sue and Uraraka. They are working together, which always amazing. And they were working with Ryuku, I think it was, this like dragon-like lady. And they were recommended to her by Nejire, the other member of the Big Three. Nejire, we get to see her quirk, but I'll come back to that in a sec because I forgot to mention Sun Eater's quirk. He is whatever he eats. He gains like physical manifestations of the abilities of whatever he can eat. Like if he eats squid, he can grow like these squid tentacles from his fingers. He can like create a giant hard clam on his hand. If he eats clams, if he eats fried chicken, he can grow wings and stuff. It's a really fascinating concept. So that's really interesting. I wonder how long ago he would have had to eat something for it to still take effect. Like maybe it's just based on like normal digestion time. I don't know offhand, but that's really fascinating. But going back to Nejire, her quirk seems to be that she can shoot these spiral beams out. So her quirk is like a typical like laser beam kind of thing, which is pretty interesting in itself. It's pretty standard, but I guess it's the way she uses it and her probable intellect and everything with it, and the way she diversifies the effect itself, probably. I don't know. That's my guess. But yeah, it's always great like to see Sue and Uraraka together because like in terms of the actual show itself, they have been shown to be pretty good friends. And yeah, I just noticed that. Oh, I'm sorry. This is interesting because I did not expect this to happen. I'm just gonna. Ah, I don't like spiders. Give me a second. Good thing there's something right here I can pick it up with. Okay. I got it. Ugh. The spider's been hanging around, I guess, pun intended, for a while, for a couple days. It's just been like on the wall and stuff. I just looking into the camera and I see it like hanging right next to my head, and I'm like trying not to freak out on camera for you guys. I don't like spiders. I don't like any bug, but especially spiders and mosquitoes and stuff. So, um, where was I? Sue and Uraraka, yeah. In terms of in the show and everything, in the context of the show, they've worked together on multiple occasions, and we've seen that they do have a legitimate, strong friendship. In the same kind of way that Deku does with All Might and Bakugo does with Kirishima. They are just legitimately very strong friends. Um, so it's great to see them continuously working together in various situations and now having their work study together. I think that's actually pretty fantastic. And then you have to look at it from the shipper perspective. I ship these two. Um, I've talked about it before. I'm fine with the idea of shipping, like, for example, Sue with Tokiyami or Uraraka with Deku. Sure, I'm fine with those. But they are my main ship for this series. Like, no joke. Sue and Uraraka, I think, are just adorable together. I think they just have amazing chemistry. And honestly, I've seen some just really great fan art. But seriously, I just think they're really cute together. I think it's just a great ship. And I just like the idea of them together. So it's like whenever we get something in the show of them working together, whether back in season 3 with the entire forest arc, I think it's called Forest Raid arc with the Vanguard Action Squad when they're working together in the entire little task where they're supposed to be scaring each other and then they face off against Himiko with each other. Um, and just all these other occasions, just even on downtime when you see them just hang out or talk or everything. Anytime like Sue is like, "Come on, Uraraka or Ochiko," or whatever, it's like she just has this like cute little inflection to her voice, and it's like, oh my goodness. But in all seriousness, so yeah, seeing them working well and getting recognition from the pro Ryuku as well as Nejire herself, of course, it's great to see. Just in all seriousness, even not thinking about the shipping stuff, it's great to see them getting this recognition as well. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of focus on Kirishima, and we got to see his new ability. So he can harden himself even further than normal to create like this almost monstrous appearance. I forgot exactly what he called it. But it's freaky, admittedly, and it's really cool though. It's like he's harder than ever, and it's like he almost has like these giant fangs, and it's like, oh my goodness. Um, and it allows him to get past things that he ordinarily wouldn't, but it has a limit. He said like, what was it, like 20, 30 seconds, something like that. So it's like he can only hold it for so long before he goes back to normal. But he can still use hardening after. He can still use his quirk afterwards, like right after, which we saw him do, just not to that degree. It will take a lot out of him, and he will have to recover a little bit before he can use his hardening to a more notable degree again. We also saw a bit of Shigaraki and Overhaul. So we saw their meeting, and Shigaraki's conditions are that I'm not going to work under you, but you're also not going to work under me. We're going to work together. It's going to be a joint partnership, which is kind of what I expected with this, that it was going to be more of a compromise. Um, it seems like the smart thing to do, especially if Shigaraki does want to get revenge on Overhaul. Um, he also wants to know Overhaul's plan and all of that jazz. And I think it's, all things considered, very fair. Especially considering, as Shigaraki noted, his side, the League of Villains side, lost more. Yes, both sides had a death, but the League of Villains side also had Mr. Compress's arm taken away and everything. So there was technically more damage to the League of Villains side. But either way, this compromise will allow both of them to achieve their current goals. With the Shie Hakaisai wanting the name recognition of the League of Villains, and the League of Villains wanting more people behind them. This will help on both of their angles, and which is not a good thing. I'm not so sure about my prediction before, though, anymore. My prediction about that they were going to be at each other's throats this season rather than facing off with the heroes this time around. I'm not as sure about that anymore. But either way, I'm excited to see where this season goes. This was a great episode. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, tell me your thoughts on the new camera and everything as well. Including if I need to up my own audio or not. All of that jazz. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you want to check out any of my social media links and more, please check them out over to the side. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave those down below. In the meantime, though, thank you so much once again for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.